Hi everybody, this is Lynn from Creative Concept Crafts with this week's superb little file, which is the floating teacup. I've always wanted to make one of these, but I didn't want to use a proper cup and saucer, so this is my interpretation of one done in card, and I really love it. On this particular one, I've used 3 of my floral files, the Flowers and Flourishes, Kaleidoscope and Tiffany, and a great tartan. The cube box is the wine box, so if you've got the collection of boxes, the wine box fits this perfectly. Okay, so I've taken the liberty of cutting all the pieces out. I've done most of the matting and layering because it's all, I've got a couple to put on here, but everything's all done exactly the same way. Get all your mats and layers on before you start attaching anything else. This is the cup that I'm showing you at the minute, and you need to attach the handle before you attach the tab. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of silicone glue. Looks like its nozzle's blocked. A little bit of silicone glue on the little tabs. The 2 pieces of the handle have been stuck together, and I'm just putting the silicone glue on those tabs, and they're going to be attached with the sort of the pointy part of the handle facing towards the top of the cup. Can you see it shaping up the way? And that goes to the top of the cup. So I'm just attaching the tabs where they fold right on the fold line of the tab. Okay, so just pop those down, firm them down, and then I'm going to add glue to the rest of the tab. So because I'm using photographic cardstock on this particular file, because it's shiny on one side, on both sides, I find that the PVA glue doesn't really hold it too well, so I'm using the silicone glue throughout the whole of this file, the whole design. Okay, so just burnish that tab line down inside, and we just need to add the last 2 mats now. When you're cutting these out, you can either cut the mats separately or do them all together. If you do them all together, be careful because they're 2 slightly different sizes. One's a bit thinner than the other one, so just be careful if you're making them up together. Okay, so just getting the mat on one side and the same thing on the other side. I know there's a lot of bits on this, there's a lot of mats, but I've still run all the edges down on the edge of the scoreboard to give me that little, the beveled edge, which I really like. And I've also done the beveled edge around the outside of the teacup and the saucer as well. I just find that for getting these mats and layers into position, they're absolutely fail-safe thing to do. All the way around there has been done on the scoreboard, and as have all the edges of the mats and layers. Okay, so now all we need to do is just straighten out the handle and then just pop the little tabs down until they're more or less flat to the bench. Okay, and there's 2 little circles for the base. One is fractionally smaller than the other. The smallest one goes to the inside of the cup. So again, I'm just adding glue. Even though I know there's only tabs around the outside of this, I'm adding it to all of it because once I come to put the other piece on the other side, it's already some there to help with the glue, to help it to stick together. Okay, so just push it round at the outside so you're getting it stuck to the tabs. And then we're going to add glue to the other slightly larger circle. This glue doesn't come out of the fine nozzle just quite as easily as the PVA. So it just takes a little bit more for me to cover, but it works. So, okay, so just push that down. Just get your hands inside and just make sure it's all well down, round the edges and in the centre. And that's basically the cup complete. Okay, so we're going to move on to the saucer. In case you're wondering which is the cup and which is the saucer is almost a complete circle. The cup is just over half. So if you've any doubts. So again, I'm just adding glue to the tab. I've actually done all the mats on one side of this. So there's just the one to go on the right side there. So again, all the way around the edges and then a little bit in the middle. Make sure it all houses and burnishes down when you put it down. Now if you look at that, you can see that it's not symmetrical. There's one side is higher than the other, and it's the higher side where the cup is attached. So again, I'm just pushing those tabs down. I don't know if you can see it. You can maybe see it from there. It just kicks up a little bit more at one side than the other, and it's that kick up side where we want to put the cup. Done that so that when you lay the flowers, they sit nicely. And you can see them better than if the whole thing was the same all the way around. So again, we've got the same scenario. We've got two circles. One is a little bit smaller than the other. The smaller one goes to the inside. Again, I'm covering the whole of this. I know there's only tabs to the outer part, but because of what's happening inside, I just want that extra glue. Okay, so just push that down. Now, to give us a little bit of weight, because of adding the cup and to counterbalance so it doesn't fall over, I've just put a 5-cent piece in the middle and I'm adding the glue. I don't know where you are, but I'm sure you'll have a coin of some description that's just a little bit smaller than the centre opening part of the saucer. There'll be American cents somewhere and UK pennies and Australian cents as well, wherever you are. But just something, it's just to weight it down. You don't have to use a coin, but just something with a bit of weight. Okay, so all we've got to do now is the spoon, which is the bit that everything floats on. So I'm sure you've all got paper clips. And I'm sure you've all got paper clips that have got sprained and they won't hold anything anymore. Here's a use for them. That's all I've done is just open up the paper clip. One end of it, leave it at a right angle. The rest of it, straighten it up as much as you possibly can. Just lay the spoon onto to give you a rough idea of where you need the bend at the top. The great fun of these because they keep twisting round as you're trying to move them. But just where the break at the top of the spoon is where you want the bend. Okay? I'm just going to pop that to one side because I've spent a bit of time just straightening it out a little bit so that you've got a right angle. It's like an S shape for the spoon to sit on. Okay? So you can see the spoon base sits on one part and the spoon head sits on the other. So I'm just adding silicone glue, whether it's a metal paper clip or whether it's one of the plastic coated ones. It really doesn't matter. It's just to hold the float. Just something with a little bit of stiffness. So I'm adding the silicone glue all the way down. Now, it doesn't matter whether you add the bottom bit of this first or you add the top bit. It really doesn't matter because it's going to be two parts anyway. I just put it on the table. I do the top part first so I can sit the spoon down on the table. I can hold it while I'm pressing the spoon shaft and then up to the top to where the top of the spoon is and just bend it down onto the other half. It probably won't stand at this point, but don't worry about it. It will once it's glued onto your saucer. Just try and make sure that that paper clip is centrally glued because they do like to wobble and twist around, so try and keep it as straight as you possibly can. So here I'm just showing you where the spoon breaks into the shaft. Just give it a bend. I haven't put any crease lines in here because it's so tiny. I didn't want it to weaken. And again, where it breaks into the top of the spoon, just bend it. So one part comes forward and one part comes back. Okay, I'm just going to add glue to the whole of this spoon now. Right from the top, the whole lot, all the way down the shaft. And right down to the bottom. This is the fiddliest part of the whole of this, I think. But just persevere with it, it's worth it. And now, make sure you've got round on the edges because of it all coming together. So again, line up. I line it up from the base of the spoon, glue it, get it housed down, and then up the shaft and up to the top. Just speeded that bit up because it's just repeating the same thing twice. Okay, so that's ready now to add onto the saucer. Remember, you're looking for the highest point, which will be to the right as you're working, or with looking at the video, it's to the left side at the minute. Just adding glue to the base of the spoon, and I'm adding it just to where the mats come in and across onto the circle of the base. Okay, it's a bit like a swan's neck at the minute. And now we just add in the cup at the top. So again, adding glue to that tip of the spoon. And this is preference now where you want the cup handle to sit, whether you want it forward, whether you want it at the top, whether you want it going towards the back. Entirely up to you as to where you stick, but stick the top of the spoon towards the back of the circle. So you're on the mat, but as close to the circle on the back of the cup as you can get. I'm just giving this a couple of seconds to make sure that it's going to hold. And there's the cup and saucer, and all we've got to do now is just decorate. Okay, so there we are, all ready to go. And for this particular one, I'm using my Starburst collection. I've just created a few flowers ready, and my hot glue gun to the ready now for attaching flowers. So I'm coming in with one or two of the bigger ones, and I'm going to put them into the centre to start. I think I only added 4 or 5 flowers. You'll find that the more the weight that you get on, this will stabilise it as well. So there we go. Just add into the stem, and then I'm going to come round and down in like an S shape. So I don't put them all in a straight line, but just offsetting left or right. I've just speeded this up. Coming upwards and just one onto the side. So it's sort of just on the edge of the cup there. And I'm now going to add a few of the Starburst leaves. Again with the hot glue on the back. And just tucking in behind the flowers. Let's turn it around so you can see where I'm going. Different sizes. And again, I've just speeded up so that you can see what's going on. Entirely up to you. You may want to put a lot more decoration on than this. But because the coin is in the bottom there, it's fairly stable. Maybe one more. And there we go, one floating teacup. Isn't it cute? And here's the wine box. This one I did when we were making the boxes, and I've put a plain back on it, 3 sides with the acetate. And the actual photographic card I've used in this is actually from a Hunky Dory USB number 9. I think it's Floral Blossoms or something like that. I hope you've enjoyed the file. Until the next time, thanks everybody and bye for now.